Every immigrant has a story. Where they came from, how they got here, and most importantly, what inspired them to come here. The Vogelvang story is no different, for my parents and I were immigrants 50 years ago. And this is our story of how we came to the United States in pursuit of the American dream.
Our story begins in Holland in 1962. We just married a year, and then ANKE'S came over, ANKE'S, that is mom's aunt. He came over to the houseboat, and he said, that's pretty small, and you know, we got much more room and big houses in the United States. And she had the idea of the church that they wanted to sponsor a family from any part of the world. So since we were from Holland, and she said, we want to sponsor for immigration to America. So then she said, is that something for you guys? And so I said, that sounds good to me. I always liked to America because I had an uncle living there in Fort Worth, Texas. So we started dreaming, and from there it started. And when we got the opportunity, and America always blew me away when Oma Rink sent me pictures and letters to my parents, and I was just blown away by the beautiful big buildings and big beautiful cars and things like that in America.
Palm trees.
Not only that, we heard a lot about America, that there's much more freedom and than Europe. So we got the opportunity to go there, and it was just an adventure, you know. That is, we were young, and I said to Mom, what shall we do? She said, yeah, that sounds good to her. Mom too, right?
Yeah, well, you said
But
so.
it's not that easy. How are we going to tell the family? So
I said, you do it.
we said, well, let's do it maybe a month or maybe 2 weeks before we actually go, because, you know, otherwise we have to go to all that
Drama.
trouble, the drama. You know, this and that. So, and then in the meantime, we took some English lessons because we didn't know any English. And we had a teacher, private teacher. He came over, what, twice a week or something like that?
Yeah.
In the evening. And we learned window, table, chair, with no conversation, you know. We said, ah, we'll make it. Before that, we had to do all the paperwork. I had to go to Amsterdam to get the insurance worked out.
And passports.
Huh? And the passports.
And
Well, the
visas.
insurance guy came on the Bali, and he looked at me. He said, what are you doing here? Well, I'm going to immigrate. Oh, you crazy? There was a small sergeant from the Air Force. You know that?
Mm-hmm.
That was amazing. In Holland, there was no, you couldn't find a house. You couldn't rent it because there was no housing. So a lot of young couples, they lived in with older people, you know, or with their parents and things like that. So there was just no housing. So we had the opportunity to buy that boat that time in '61, but the owner of the boat said the only way you can get in, you don't tell anybody, because the city wanted to get rid of the boats. So don't say anything, we go out, you go in, and then you're okay. So we did that. Even out, nobody knows about it, we went in, and the boat is still there. We had to do the same thing. We wanted to sell it. We couldn't put it in the paper because, you know, then the city will find out. And said, no. So we found somebody who really wanted to buy it. It was the daughter of the milkman. And I told him the same thing. I said, don't say anything to anybody. We go out, you go in, and you're fine. Well, that was the deal, that was the promise. 2 days later, I come with work, and my buddy said, hey, that's all your boat, right? Where do you get that idea from? They go, so-and-so. That was the lady. wanted to buy the boat, and I was very upset. So, same night I went over there, I told us that the deal was over.
Yeah.
The deal is over, that's it, we're not going to go, we're not going to sell the boat to you. Well, crying their heart out, but tough, you know. So then we had to find somebody else. Found somebody else, we told him the same thing, it worked perfectly, we went out, he got in, and
We lived there for many years.
after I think 20 years, they were still living there.
Yeah.
Nothing changed. The wallpaper was still the same, the carpet was still the same, nothing changed.
Yeah.
But it was a nice family.
Yeah.
Till the man died, and then the same year the boat was gone.
Yeah.
And then a year after that, our neighbor boat was gone.
Wim
So
Koops.
they wanted him out, see. But that was the deal. But in the meantime, when we bought the boat, you know that I had built a room on it, you know that. So anyway, it was all fun. We had 2 fantastic years on the boat. Absolutely fantastic. So then, a couple of weeks before, I went to my parents, their house, and I remember watching TV. I said, well, I think we're thinking of going to the direction of Omarink. My father said, what do you mean? I said, well, I think we're going to try to live over there. Omarink? You live in America. Yeah, that's right. So you go? No. Especially my mom, you know. Man, it was terrible. You hear that, Hessel?
Yeah, I can hear it.
And my father said, yeah, if I was younger and had a chance, I would do it too. So Dad thought was, well, he said, that sounds pretty interesting. Because his brother was living in Port Arthur, so. Then of course they wanted to know where we're going and why. And I told them about the opportunity we got from the church here in Lemon Grove or Elgone. And little by little, you know, they found out that we were going to do that. And they wanted to know when. I said, well, it's going to be pretty soon because we got everything pretty much ready. And so what are you going to do with the houseboat and blah, blah, blah. I said, that's already sold. So it was a big surprise. And then, of course, the whole family had to know about it. And they said, no, we're never going to see it anymore. So many people tried it already, and you got a good job here in Holland, and you know, and a lot of things. It was not easy.
You always can come
But I
back.
tell you the truth, there were a lot of people who didn't make it because those people think, you know, they were waiting for them, but it's not the case, you know. If you're an immigrant, don't think that it is that easy, and that they really got to work hard for it. But a lot of people think, you know, they're waiting for them, and that the money is laying on the street in America. But that's not the case. You got to work your little butt off.
You had
You
to
know,
go to my
and
parents.
Then I had to go to mom's parents.
It was a little bit
It was a little easier. The only thing, of course, mom's mom, not only that, mom was the only daughter, and you were the only grandson, 17 months.
17.
So, but they were more understandable, I think, because of course her sister lived there, and they knew that we were going over with the family, to the family. That helped a lot.
Yeah.
But you know, we didn't go to this. If we had gone to Omarink, maybe it was maybe a little easy for them too, for my parents. But that was not the case. He lived all the way on the other side of the country. But so little by little, you know, in the meantime, that's how long did it take us to go?
Half
After
a
that?
year.
Huh? Not that long, right? Half a year, less
Half
than
year.
half
October,
year.
October or May. So
Everybody was pretty excited.
Oh yeah.
I was excited.
You were excited.
Yeah,
Yeah, we were.
we were really excited because, you know, this is a big adventure. The last night we had a little party. Everybody came together, and
And we sold some stuff to the people, you know, the furniture, remember?
we sold some stuff and we gave some stuff away.
Yeah.
You know. So the last day, I think it was fun, but the last day was, the hard part was saying, for the last morning to say goodbye to everybody. It was no fun, you know. But otherwise, as soon as we were out of the house, out the door, we thought, that's it, okay, it's over. Well, we went and said, okay, we said hello to everybody. And I said, nobody going to the boat, because we had to go to the boat in Rotterdam. And there was a tour of 10 days and 10 nights. But anyway, we went to the boat in Rotterdam. Well, we were in the boat already, and who do you think is down there? On the shore, my father, my mother, my neighbor, all laughing, mom crying, of course. So that was kind of tough, you know, but yeah, let's go inside. We still see it anymore. It's over. You know, we had some other people, they had more trouble than we. There was one guy with 7 kids or something like that, meneer van de Boer.
De Boer of so?
And his oldest daughter is engaged, and she had to go with him. Oh man, she was crying her heart out. Oh, that poor kid was crying out for days. Huh?
Yeah.
For days. But we didn't have that problem, you know. We just looked forwards and forwards and forwards, and we had you, and we had to take care of it, and we were always busy. And then we started the journey for 10 days and nights, and it was, the first 3 days were beautiful. And we put you in the nursery, so you didn't, you know, that was okay.
Yeah.
Sometimes we were on deck, it was nice weather.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure we went to Ireland, the coast of Ireland. That was nice. Didn't stop though, they? No. That meant these passed along and people just brought up. Yeah, I don't remember it. But then we came really in the big ocean, and we had a storm for 3 days and 3 nights. That was awful. It was unbelievable. The boat just dove up, and we went down, and we dove down, and then we went down, and then down, the prop came out of the water and it shook the whole boat, you know. And that thing was half the size maybe of Queen Mary. I don't know how big it was, but it's pretty damn big. And we had 99% of sick people were sicker than a dog. It was vomited all over the floor. It was awful, awful.
And holding on and the ropes.
And then holding on to the ropes, everything was just flying back and forth. And I thought it's just for keeping the boat together. But, you know, finally I found out it was just so you could, like a handrail, you could hold on to it, because if you didn't, you went from one side of the boat to the other.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable, or this way or that way. But that was kind of scary though. The decks were closed off because nobody could go on deck anymore. And everything was closed off because the water was just pouring over this crazy thing. Anyway, we had a reporter, and he looked me up for some reason. Because I was young, probably. I don't know. There was a lot of people. Most of the people were old people.
Yeah.
People.
Parents van immigrants.
Parents and immigrants. Anyway, he said, "I want to make a story, and not only that, I want to make pictures." Well, he said, "I gotta go up." And he said, "I never could make that by myself." Because I said, "Well, not only that, I said, we're not allowed to go up." I know, but I'm a reporter. You know, he said, "Will you help me?" I said, "Sure, you're a reporter, I'll help you." So I hold him like that, and we went to the steel ladder, but not the original ladder, but you know, this probably only for the crew. I hold him like that, and hold him like that, and he opened up the hatch, you know, and from there he took pictures, and I said, "Well, now you could hold me up. I like to take some pictures too of this little camera, you know." I took some pictures. I don't know if the pictures came out that well. And that was quite an experience. And nobody found out we did that. He probably got his nice story.
Mm-hmm. So
And
that was it.
it was pretty rough. It was unbelievably rough. You cannot imagine. A boat like that is like a matchbox with a storm. Unbelievable. One night we had to go to dinner, and they served mushroom soup. And it was like stuff that was laying on the floor, you know. It was falling like crazy. So, Mama, you stayed in the dining room.
We were the only
And I said,
ones.
well, I don't feel like eating anymore. And I think there was the only guy who was worked in the dining room when he said to Mom, I don't think he's coming back. I didn't come back either.
No.
Didn't get sick, but I didn't come back. I didn't feel like eating. You walk by people, there's a little old man sitting in the corner, blowing his harmonica. Amazing Grace. It was so awful. The people were so sick. They rather died than stay alive. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
So, in one way, I'm glad we had that experience, but I would never. I saw them. We don't take a boat anymore.
No cruise.
No cruise.
Never.
Never. And
We still don't.
but it's you know, even so the boats are somewhat better now. Of course, I believe that. But now, when you come on that ocean, you have storm. I don't care how big the boat is.
Yeah.
It's awful. But 3 days before we were actually in the harbor, we went to New York. We saw the ship that came by. We didn't know that anyway. We could actually read it. It's the new Amsterdam. It was pretty darn close, you know, so you could see that. I think it was about halfway more in the trip,
Oh yeah.
from the trip.
Oh yeah. We only
Anyway,
saw water.
You know, everybody's getting excited. Oh, the boat, there's another boat coming from there, there's another boat coming from there. So we all went on, you know, deck, and, you know, sure enough, all waving and whistling and yelling. Everything was quiet. Well, it's not too far away, but, you know, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But then, I think a day or something before we came in New York, we saw a plane flying over, finally. So it was some other life, you know. And that was really exciting.
Yeah. We didn't
Really.
have much excitement.
Otherwise, it was just water and air.
Yeah.
You know? And then we had a little American guy, a real English pet, and a whole bunch of people all the way around him. I said, "What the heck's going on? You know, what's he selling?" Now he had the Polaroid. Well, we never knew what the Polaroid was. That was like a magic, man. I mean, he took a picture, and seconds later, the picture was there. Unbelievable. So that was quite an experience. Yeah, and it was fun on the boat, you know. We had parties practically every night.
Oh yeah.
And you know, he said, okay, people, we got a head party tonight. Everybody makes his own head. I don't care how it looks like.
And
Everybody,
material
we got material from him, and we got balloons, and whatever you want to make. But we have a party in a Congo line. So I was thinking, what the heck am I going to make, you know? And I think I make the boat.
Yeah.
So I made the boat. Mom made something
Balloons.
with balloons and things around it.
Crazy.
And it was fun. It was really fun. And of course, you're singing Feyenoord, that's the soccer club. They won. They were champion. And there was a song that said,
Geen woorden.
geen woorden maar daden. You know, no words, but deeds. And we sung that practically every night in the boat
Dancing.
with the big orchestra or guy with the saxophone. Remember that? That's totally cool. But anyway, we made it to New York and early in the morning, and we saw the Statue of Liberty in the fog still, because it's pretty early in the morning. We had to stay there for I don't know how many hours before we entered the harbor. Then finally the tugboats came, pulled us into the harbor, came by the Statue of Liberty. But then we really felt we're actually in America.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
we're actually in America.
Yeah.
And that blew me away.
Yeah.
Then finally we came in New York. We were picked up with people. We had that thing up, right? with a little pin like that. They put us on for the church because it was sponsored by the church.
Yeah.
In Lemon Grove.
Reformed Church of America.
Yeah. And we didn't speak English, but you know, they had already signs of, I think, signs with their names on it or something.
I think so.
Oh, they saw that.
And that.
Yeah, okay, come on.
Come on.
Come on. Gotta go with all the paperwork. And put us in a taxi. Taxi drove like a maniac to New York. And everybody was blaring their horn. Oh, shit. Oh, horns like crazy. And before we knew it, we were there. We came in the airport. And I honestly don't remember how we got in the plane. What kind of plane?
I don't know it either.
I don't know. I think it was a Convair. So we had from New York to Los Angeles. Los Angeles, we had another small plane. And I remember the coffee, you know, there's turbulence like crazy. And the coffee went over everything. So from LA to San Diego. And there was Aunt Co and Uncle John and Rudy was waiting for us. And Joanne, another friend of ours, yeah. And then we picked up from there and we went to
our
Alcon.
house.
They had a little house. The church members totally put everything in, the furniture, the refrigerator,
And a little
bed.
kitty cat for him.
A little kitty cat we had, a little red kitty
For
cat.
Eric.
Yeah. And that little house was very nice. It was in Alcon,
Very nice.
but it was very hot in Alcon, especially when you come from Holland. But, you know, I could handle it. You handled it okay.
Yeah.
I did odd jobs at night when I was done with work. Work at night, made fences, did carpentering work, did anything I could. Mom was ironing flags for the company
Riverside.
in Riverside.
No, for Riverside.
For Riverside, that was the company. And if she was not doing that, she was ironing shirts for another company for
Babysitting.
10 cents a shirt.
Yeah.
I don't know, and it was hard work, you know. We worked
We both worked.
late days, long days. Mom worked hard. Did babysitting. You gotta get a little extra money. But in 3 years, we could buy a house. But again, you know, sometimes we had weeks that we eat pancakes all week.
Yeah.
Right?
And wafels.
But that's just what you gotta do.
Yeah.
And never complain. That's what
Don't
we
help
did,
anyway.
you know?
So.
So that's another thing I think is very important that people know that if they want to immigrate, they gotta know it's not that easy, you know? And that's good because if you come in and state that everything is right there, you don't appreciate it anymore, you know? You don't appreciate it. You took the ship because that's the only thing we could afford.
Yeah.
Not the only one, we were the last ones to the boat. From there, it got more modern and it's a little more expensive. But we made the boat. And we were lucky to be the last one because there's an experience you never forget. Well, when they said you never come back, within 3 years we had enough money saved up.
We stayed there for 6
And
weeks.
it was great to go back on. You know, that's, of course, that was great.
We're glad we did it.
Yeah, I'm glad we did it.
But you know, we went every couple of years more or less because the people,
Yeah.
they came over here too. You
Yeah.
know, so then
Oh,
we didn't
yes,
have to
yeah.
go. But now
And
it is
then-
almost every year. Getting
My
older.
parents came over, and my mother said, if I was 20 years younger, I would immigrate right now. So she was totally peace with it.
Yeah.
She was so happy.
She never saw this house. Your father did.
No, my father did, yeah. Your parents did.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, it was great. And I never, no, seriously, so many at Christmas that mom was thinking, well, you know, it's not like Holland, you know, Christmas. But we had all the kids, we were always busy, you know, things like that. And we had the church, lots of people we knew. And no, we never had
Yeah, a lot
You
of
never get homesick.
no, and
never,
now
never,
you
never.
get all the grandkids and you have your own
No.
life here. Dit is your home.
Yeah,
So,
but I still have to go back to Holland once in a while.
oh yeah.
We started out in Alcohol. Then we went to Lemon Grove. So we started in one duplex. Then we got a chance again to move to the other duplex because we had more room and we had a backyard. So there was moved 3.
Down to
Then we went to
San Miguel,
San Miguel.
Lemon Grove.
That was a nice house, Lemon Grove.
Mm-hmm.
Till a friend of ours told me there's more work closer to LA, so we went to Santa Ana. Down, we bought our first house in 65 in Anaheim.
Mm-hmm.
We loved it, we stayed there, the kids were born in the meantime. We stayed there 10 years.
Yeah, 10
10 years. So in 76, we moved from Anaheim to Orange. So it was the 7th time we moved.
So that, and there where we now, and we don't move
and
anymore.
now we're here since 76 and we're not going to move anymore.
No.
And that's our story, and we're thankful that we live in the United States, and God bless America.
Well, that was a cool journey, and now I have something else here for you.
Oh, the suitcase.
Oh, the suitcase.
Oh, you have the suitcase.
Oh, yeah.
Take a look inside. And do you recognize anything in there?
Oh,
Oh, Statue of Liberty.
de Maasdamvlag, waar komt die vandaan hier?
Oh, die hadden we gekocht op de boot.
Oh, Statue of
Ja.
Liberty.
And Statue of Liberty, and that guy here, we used to Eric, remember?
Ja.
Yeah.
Hihihihi.
That's so cool, Eric. Bought it all on the boat. Yeah.
Maar
And the flag.
de vlag kan ik niet meer herinneren.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I
Ja.
wanted the flag. You better believe it. See, it's a pretty good sized boat, isn't it?
Yeah.
Amazing. Amazing.
And look with a little suitcase for all our clothes.
Was that the only suitcase we had? Yeah.
No, we had 2
Huh? A couple more, huh?
in here. Can you believe this old stuff?
Man, oh man.
In just 13 short years, we went from a small houseboat in a Dutch canal to this 3-story Victorian mansion. My parents raised 4 more kids after me, started their own businesses, and became American citizens in 1978. I became an American citizen in 1988. And we did this by integrating into the American culture, following its laws, learning English, thinking positive, working hard, and believing and achieving in the American dream of success, freedom, and independence. A lesson that resonates today as it has throughout history.